Before the United States was founded, it's estimated that 60 million bison roamed the North American plains. They were brought to the brink of extinction during the westward expansion of European settlers in the 19th century. How they were saved is a long story for another time. But over time, conservationists have come to recognize the important role that bison play in maintaining healthy ecosystems. Today, several 100,000 bison live on privately owned land across the United States, including here in Story County.
You can imagine what it must have looked like hundreds of years ago, vast prairies as far as the eye can see against the backdrop of oak savannas and, bison roaming through. It would have been something to see for sure. I think maybe if I could go back in time, that's what I would want to see is, the bison and to better understand how they shaped this ecosystem here in Iowa, which we all benefit from, the richness, when you think about the quality of soil, all that they were such an important part of it. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Jathan was raised in Story County and followed in the footsteps of his father and brother by serving in the U.S. Navy. After leaving the military, he traveled the world and pursued his education before ultimately returning to Iowa, where he purchased a herd of bison in 2012. In addition to his day job in the field of Veterans Affairs, Jathan hopes to improve the landscape he grew up on by restoring it back to what it used to be hundreds of years ago.
One of the most meaningful aspects of military service was being part of something larger than myself. And so as I've grown in my life and as I've given over 20 years in Veterans Affairs, I also think what is more meaningful, what is bigger than ourselves than to find ways to improve the land that we were on, that we can leave something in better condition for future generations.
This was all canopy, but this is where the derecho came through and just...
Iowa is the heart of the tallgrass prairie ecosystem, one of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the world. In today's context, we're losing that same biodiversity at a rate never experienced before. And so we're just really trying to create as rich and biodiverse of an ecosystem as possible with the management of a bison family herd. This one's just smelling us. She's coming, the wind's blowing this way, so she's getting our smell. When I say that we're working alongside bison, we really are just giving them freedom to see how they rub against the cedar trees and to understand that they were essential to open up and to keep open the tallgrass prairie ecosystems, the way that they wallow to create disturbances that allow other species to, native species to move in, or better yet, creates a little, hole for that water to accumulate so that the birds can get drinks. Well, this is an example, this time of year the bison are losing a lot of the fur, and so it just catches on these little snags, and then the birds will come and they'll use that fur and they'll make nests, reintroducing bison to this landscape. We have learned so much by observing them and just working alongside bison. They teach us so much about land management, and this is just one of those kind of privileges that we get to see.
As part of Jathan's mission to reestablish the native ecosystems on his 180-acre property, he partnered with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Practical Farmers of Iowa to restore an oxbow wetland to help boost native habitat and create cleaner water downstream.
What's really cool about this property, it's at the base of the headwaters of the Skunk River watershed, and so with this oxbow and wetland restoration project, we're really in a great location to help, reduce the sediment, help improve water quality, and it's gonna be awesome for wildlife habitat, this project. Whoa, that's muddy. So this is actually where the start of the oxbow is gonna be. It'll be backfilled in here. Basically what we're doing is this is the old riverbed, and we're just removing a lot of the alluvial sediment. This is gonna be an awesome ecosystem here that's gonna really help capture floodwater. This project here, just the oxbows, will hold about 1 million gallons of water during flooding. But we'll be planting wetland species here, of course exposing a lot of that seed bank. It's gonna be really exciting to see what emerges over the next couple years here. And then to see the bison, how they're gonna utilize this oxbow is gonna be a real treat. I have an immense sense of, this really deep sense of gratitude. What an honor and privilege for me to be able to work the land in this way. Those calves are so cute. There's not a day that I don't come out to the prairie and not learn something. And what an incredible gift to be able to learn.